following takes place between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m.
And hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Time Out for Sports Talk here at the Belmont Media Center, Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 29, where we continue to be Belmont's first and only live all-sports talk show, and we welcome you to the program this evening. My name is Todd Bloniarz. It is Wednesday, February 20th, 2008. We're going to be here live for the next 60 minutes taking your phone calls at 617-484-2443. That's 617-484-2443. That is the number. Make sure you, if you're watching us live, to give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We always like new callers and like to hear from those of you who have been longtime viewers but are too shy to pick up the phone. We're here for you tonight. You can call us counselors if you want, if that's what you need. Whatever it takes to get you to call in, we would appreciate it. We also still have our email address at timeoutforsportstalk@hotmail.com, and I actually want to start emphasizing that email a little bit more, even though we don't get any emails at the address. The reason why is because you can now watch Time Out for Sports Talk on demand at your convenience. So if you can't catch us live, you can go to the Belmont Media website, which is belmontmedia.org, or you can go directly to googlevideo.com. And there's the website at the bottom of the screen. And if you go to googlevideo.com, just do a search. In the search field, enter Time Out for Sports Talk, and it'll bring it right up. So there you go. We're out there on the internet now. Not live, but we are out there, and you can watch us whenever you want. We're just like the big networks, you know. If you can't watch the show when it's on, you know, you just watch it later on. It's on demand, so it's when your schedule allows. And that's why the email address comes in handy, because if you watch us on the internet and you want to send us a question or anything, there you go. Time Out for Sports Talk at hotmail.com. Well, let's bring in Howie McClallen. Howie, it's been 17 days since that fateful Super Bowl, and it's our first show that we've done since Super Bowl XLII, and certainly we did not think I have to say, I'm still in a fog about this show because I really thought it was going to be something different tonight.
It's over. Are we still talking about that? It's over. It's done. Put a fork in them. They're done. Finished.
But the question is, did any of it matter? I mean, you know.
No.
I mean, is this the worst 18-1 team in the history of the NFL? I mean,
as the Giant fans chanted on the way out of the stadium, 18-1 didn't get it done. Okay?
I think Mercury Morris was joining them in those chants,
I'm
as
sorry.
a matter of fact.
They had more chances to put that game away, and they didn't. They stood around waiting to be anointed the kings. This guy's standing there with their hands on the hip with Brady on his back. Missed interceptions, not stopping them 4th and 1, not stripping balls, guys getting away with 2 guys hold them. They had every opportunity to put that game away, and they didn't. You know why? Because the Giants wanted it more. And you know what? They deserved it.
And it's kind of a role reversal from 6 years earlier when, you know, and in fact, over the last 6 years, pretty much it's been the Patriots in that role as the team that's always wanted it more, played harder, and it was kind of weird seeing things in reverse.
They did to us what we usually do to teams.
Yeah.
And as bad as they played, they scored a touchdown with 2:30 whatever left in the game. You stood there and shook my head and said, I don't believe they're going to pull this off, but they are. But you know what? Giants wanted it more. You catch a ball diving, falling backwards, using your head to support the other hand with a guy's hand in your face, and you still come down with the ball, you deserve the trophy.
Yeah, that is definitely true. We're going to bring in Dave Fluid, one of our semi-regulars here at Timeout. Good to see you, Dave. Didn't mean to leave you out of the conversation there, but you know, obviously your thoughts on the game. I mean, I have to agree with Howie. Yeah, after that catch, it was that catch, and then you know, Burris catching that game-winning touchdown. I felt like after I watched those 2 plays almost back-to-back, like I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach like 10 times straight.
What about Samuels? The ball going off his hand. Game over.
Yeah.
He catches that, it's game over.
Yeah, we like you said, how we had plenty of at least 4, 5, 6 plays we could have made, and we would have won if we made one of those 4 or 5. But 17 days, it feels like 17 weeks. It feels like it's such a long time ago. I thought I kind of let it go, But every once in a while, something comes up.
But I'm
that's
helping
like,
you revisit it
yeah,
now.
it's like, wow, we lost. It's like, that's right. We lost. It would have been so much better and greater and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, they beat us. And it's I can't. Eli Manning was clutch. I mean, he had a pretty good end of the season, but he was clutch. That one play where he got away, didn't get sacked, gets out of the grabs, comes up throwing, threw a nice throw, and Terry makes the catch. It's like, no,
But
that's
prior
not supposed
to
to
that,
happen.
Eli had 2 chances. We could have intercepted him.
Yep,
Typical Eli, and the game would have been over. But we didn't do the right thing.
right.
So he did do his usual Eli fold at the end, and we didn't come up with the ball. We had him 4th and 1. Didn't stop him.
It shows you how thin of a line, was it Chrissy Hines? It's a thin line between love and hate. I mean, if Eli Manning throws that interception, he's somewhat of a choker. Eli didn't do it. Another Manning, this and that. And then the Patriots were clutching. But that one play doesn't happen. And now it's like role reversal, and they get all the commercials now. And you can't say they get all the girls now because Brady's always going to get the girls, I think. So,
Right.
Of
course, if none of us, when we were doing our preview show 3 weeks ago, even considered the fact that the Patriots would only score 14 points. I mean, that just didn't seem even logical. I mean, we had them scoring at least twice that many. I mean, I know you and I did, Howie, and it's just, that's the craziest part about it. I mean, the Giants' defense, between head coach Tom Coughlin and defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, who is going to be back with them next year. I mean, he put together a brilliant game plan, and they were able to put the kind of pressure on Brady they did not when the teams met it back in Week 17, and that was the difference. And then it obviously just threw Brady totally out of rhythm for the first time all year. Nobody had sacked him 5 times in a game this year until that day.
Yeah, again, they didn't do what they had to do, and I swear, and there was right before the last 2 days before the game, they were having a thing, and they were interviewing the defensive front line and the linebackers, and they're laughing and joking, and they said something to him. It's like, no, wait a minute, we're not even supposed to be here. We're gonna get killed. I don't even know why we're showing up, and they're all laughing and joking. And when I heard that, I said, you know what? They're in trouble. Because these guys just, everyone in the world's told them they don't even deserve to come on the field, and they're laughing about it, saying, no, we shouldn't even show up. We're going to get killed, and that scared me.
Yeah.
And you know what? They showed it. They came out and played.
And I'm with you, Todd. The defense played definitely well enough to win, but where was the offense? I know they were putting pressure on us, but didn't we have a checkmate to their check as far as putting pressure on us, dumping the ball off, extra guys in to protect? I don't know. It just seemed like we ran the same plays over and over, and we just, which didn't allow us to protect enough. And the defensive line was great going into the game, and they just showed how great they are.
Yeah, that one drive, obviously the drive late in the game that gave them what we thought was going to be the winning score. I mean, on that drive, they were moving the ball with relative ease for the first time the whole game. They had found a way to counteract the fierce Giants' pressure from their front four. But after that, or outside of that, there was nothing to speak of, and that was so frustrating because it seemed like this offense had no problem scoring when they needed to all season. Mm-hmm. And here, I think one of the other keys, and one of the reasons why I always felt so comfortable about the Patriots all year is that most of the time they were always up by at least a couple scores. So they always had some wiggle room. And the one thing in that Super Bowl is they never were up by 2 scores. They never got that second score where then, okay, you can allow the Giants to score because, hey, you still got the lead. You're always going to have the lead. If you're only up by a score, you can lose the lead, and that's one of the things. That's basically what happened. They never got in, and they had that chance on that opening drive of the third quarter to at least extend the lead by going for that field goal for Gostowski, but they pass it up completely. They go on that 4th and 13, and they call an odd play where. They're throwing the ball, into the corner of the end zone against double coverage. Someone, like a Wes Welker, you would think he would have slipped underneath, like 15 yards into the seam and would have caught one over the middle for a first down. But, it was a weird game all the way through. Their offense just was never in any kind of – it didn't look anything like we had seen all season.
Can't blame weather. Can't blame elements. No. They had they had the fast track. They had the top close. There was no wind. Everything was right there. But you know what? I keep hearing about that field goal. But We lost by more than a field goal, so why does everyone keep going back to that field goal?
Well, we lost
I'm
by a
sorry.
field goal. So we lost by 3.
We lost by 3.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have changed the game.
Well, the game would have been tied instead of the Patriots at the end of the game. It would have been tied at 17, and they would have been maybe.
That's if he hits it.
Right, but at 49 yards, and he'd been hitting them
Yeah.
over 50 yards in practice, and I mean it was indoors. I'm hearing some rumors now that maybe Belichick's confidence in Gostowski has waned, and of course he did have that kickoff in the first half that went out of bounds too, and maybe that played into why they eschewed the field goal. But it was just
I think he gets nervous if you miss it where the other team's going to start. I don't think it's so much gonna.
Right. Or the only other thing I
Yeah.
could think of why he passed on that field goal too was going back to my theory, being up 2 scores. It was 7-3 at the time. They get the touchdown there on the first drive of the second half. It's 14-3, and they probably feel it's over.
It's over,
because
right.
they got the 2-score lead now. They got the wiggle room, and like I said, it never materialized.
Going for the juggler.
Yeah.
Right, they were going right, which they'd done all season and with success. I mean, this game ended up feeling at the end almost like a reverse of that Ravens game in December, where I kept wondering how in the world did the Patriots win that game. They had no business winning. I mean, I guess it wasn't completely because I didn't say after this game how did they have any business losing, but I just never saw it coming.
Yeah.
That's I guess that's the thing. And
But that's what made it. Everyone keeps talking about how the Giants deserve the win.
Oh,
the
sure.
Giants played better. They just played a better game. I mean, it was like the defense lost it, the offense lost it, the coaches lost it. No, the Giants won it.
yeah.
They played better in every aspect. They hit harder. They hustled more. They played harder. Reckless abandon. They went out. They had nothing to lose. And everyone wants to keep blaming somebody why we lost. Don't blame anyone. Just say they played a better football game. End of story. I'm tired of hearing excuses. The defense didn't play. Defense played great. I mean, if someone told you we're going to hold them to that fewer points, you would have before the game. You would have said, "Fine, we're going to win."
All day long, yeah. Yeah.
Someone told you we were going to be leading with 2 minutes to go. You'd think they were going to win. Someone told you to be leading with 38 seconds to go. You'd say, "We're going to win."
Sure.
But we didn't. The Giants won. They wanted it more. They played harder. They wanted it at the end. Don't blame anybody. Give credit.
Oh yeah, I think we have. I mean, most people have. I think we certainly do. I mean, the Giants made all those plays, and again, that was the whole key. They were within a score at the end of the game, so it put them in position where if they made all the plays on that last drive, and they did. And you're talking about the David Tyree catch. I didn't even know who this guy was before the game. I was going, "Geez, this guy's probably been on the practice squad all year or something."
I think earlier he caught his first touchdown pass of the year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's just, they did. And on that last drive, Jacobs getting that 4th down, that 4th and short, and then, Tyree making that amazing catch. And, people are saying, well, maybe Rodney was out of position. I'm not sure much
Rodney
more
had-
he could have
he
done.
was right
Was there
there.
much more he could do?
Guy was up like this.
Yeah.
Rodney's hand was in between his
Yeah.
arms. The guy's
Yeah.
going back like this with the football on his helmet. I mean, Rodney almost had an interception, and I don't know how he didn't knock that ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
I mean,
He probably still doesn't know.
his hand was
Yeah.
between his 2
Yeah.
hands, the football
Yeah.
there. I mean, again, he wanted that ball more than Rodney did.
Yeah,
And he pulled it down.
Yeah, sometimes when there's like a great play, part of it where like the opposing player kind of gives up maybe or doesn't give it 110%, gives it like 90% and this and that. But Havisham was right there. Not only was he right there, but he, like you said, Howie, he had his hand inside his hand, almost on the ball or on the ball, and he couldn't wrestle it away from him. I mean, what do you know?
And he held on
couldn't
to
have
it
done any
against
better.
his helmet.
And it
He
was
didn't even
behind
have
him.
it with 2 hands.
It was
He had
behind
it on his
him.
Yeah,
helmet,
right,
and
I know.
still come down with it.
It had
Yeah.
passed him.
Yeah.
Like the ball was behind him when he went like that, and the first time I saw it, I go, wow, that's a great catch. That stinks. And then when I saw it
Is that
again,
all you said was it stinks?
well, you know.
Did you get a feeling after that catch though that just things? It
Well, the
was
fact
starting.
that they
Yeah.
didn't
Oh,
sack
yeah.
him is what got me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying
Yeah.
two guys
Yeah.
had his shirt,
Yep.
and they couldn't pull him down. I mean,
Yeah.
he did a Houdini there, and I'm like, I couldn't believe that he got away from
Yeah.
it.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, because it's like one of those plays that you just it's like oops,
It's bad omen.
oh well,
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We shouldn't let him. We shouldn't have let him come back from that.
yeah, yeah.
Who do we have on the phone?
We have Mike on the phone.
We have Mike on the phone. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines and talk to our good friend Mike. Welcome to Time Out for Sports Talk, Mike.
Hey, boys.
Hey, we get some good Bruins talk going, Mike.
That's all that's left at this point.
It sure seems that way. Well, the pitchers and catchers have reported down
Yeah,
south. So.
it's good to have pro sports back. Well, yes, we haven't had pro sports since November, so it's really good.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, what's on your mind tonight, Mike?
Not much to talk about. Celtics are going into the tank, as I predicted.
Going into the tank. This is based on one loss on their road trip so far.
Yes, here they go. They're going to start falling to the teams in the Western Conference, and it's over.
Well, I think it's a little.
That's my prediction. I've told you that consistently. They're
Okay. Well, I think it's a little too early to give up on
I'll
me.
be a friggin' genius. No, I mean, baseball's not the only thing to get excited for. I haven't connected with this Celtics team. I got to be honest with you. And the Bruins, if they were playing out in my backyard, I don't even know that I'd watch them. I wouldn't recognize any.
I can name about maybe 2 players on the team.
Yeah, I mean, does Rogie Vachon still play for them?
Nice.
Gilles Gilbert, yeah. There you go.
Gilbert, Ray Bourque. I mean, I think the only one I know is Patrice Bergeron, and I think he thinks he's Batman now, sitting in the corner over there.
I don't even think Blaine Locker's still playing for them.
Blaine Locker, yeah. I mean, there you go. I mean, I think the Hartford Whalers would be more entertaining right now to watch than the Bruins.
There you go. Well, actually, they beat the former Whalers last night to the Bruins. So.
Well, I'm talking a video game version of the Whalers would be more interesting.
Oh, thank you.
Because Hartford, the Whale, only beats Vancouver about once a decade.
Right.
You got the game where the Howes are still playing?
What?
You got the game where the Howes are still playing?
Oh,
Goody,
yeah.
Mark, and Marty?
Definitely. Gotta have that. I mean,
All-time all-star hockey.
It's been just like Eddie Shore. Got to strap the foil on first.
Yeah, but Mike, I know your better half is a huge football fan. I mean, how has she been taking it these last couple of weeks? I mean, I know it's
Life moves on.
hard. Right.
Thank you.
Life moves on.
No, we do move on, but it's just, I guess the thing that disappoints me more than anything is that, and I think I've always held, especially since the Patriots won their first Super Bowl, I've always held them to a different standard than the Red Sox while we're on the subject, and I think I've mentioned this before. When I look at the Patriots and where they are in terms of the history of the NFL, I mean, they have a chance to be the greatest team of all time as far as number of Super Bowl wins. I mean, you compare them, they've won 3. The 49ers, the Cowboys, Steelers have all won 5. I mean,
this different standard and wondering about it now. I mean, we've got blinders on. We're in New England. We've got blinders on. Absolutely.
I think those blinders got knocked off, though, by Antonio Pierce and a few other...
Yeah, teams are going to lose. I mean, that's one thing or another. But so much has come out right before the Super Bowl and right afterwards about all this videotaping and cheating and all that. You know what? The legacy is tarnished. I'm sorry. It is. I'm not saying that, they should put an asterisk or anything, but the legacy is tarnished.
Well, I think you're right, Mike. And actually, this is a perfect segue because we were going to, I think, just start talking about this a little bit. And that's the other thing that I think made things so frustrating about, watching the end of that Super Bowl. Now there is the aftermath and there is the talk. And, even we were comparing this at the top to the Super Bowl 6 years ago, but in reverse. Well, now there's all the talk about that specific Super Bowl, the win against the Rams and this Matt Walsh character who supposedly has a tape that he can produce that
didn't
shows...
Famil come out and say that they didn't win because they had a tape? I mean, if you're going to listen, and you don't hear, you might hear 1 or 2 turkey coaches come out and they're just not sure what to say, so they're trying to say the politically correct thing. But if you go right down the line, how many coaches are actually complaining about this? You know why they aren't? Because they all do it.
Yeah, they
So
all
it's
do
not
it, but you know
tarnished.
what?
There isn't anyone in the NFL that thinks it's tarnished. You got morons outside the NFL that thinks it's tarnished, right? But that's because they're not part of it, and they're all in it. And I bet you if
That would be the general media you're kind of referring to.
them in people like Alan Spector. I'm sorry, this country's in a recession. We got $1 trillion deficit. The economy's going down the chute.
We're at war.
We got war. We got gas prices. We got $100 barrels of oil. And what are we doing in Congress? We're having talks about Roger Clemens steroids and Alan Spector worrying about the fact that his Pittsburgh teams and his Philadelphia teams lost to the Patriots. Isn't that a little ridiculous?
It's an election year.
But nobody in the fraternity cares because they all do it. And if they want to open their mouths, they'll all end up in front of somebody. That's why it doesn't matter. It's not tarnished. Everyone's quiet about it.
Yeah, you don't hear Bill Cowher and Andy Reid arguing
Complaining?
about it. And
Vermeil come out and said it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But Spector, being the mayor or governor or whatever, senator. And,
Mayor.
governor, it's all, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Lord of the realm. Inspector Arlen, as I like to call him
Councilman. But yeah, I mean, but he's making this big deal about it, and the coaches from the state.
Apparently, he's a big caller on the Philadelphia sports radio stations, too.
It's just, it's
hard to take him seriously.
It's hard to take anything seriously at this point.
Yeah.
It really truly is. It's like, who cares? They lost the game. Let's move on. But there's been all this, are they cursed and everything? I honestly think, though, that the legacy is going to be tarnished in some people's eyes because of all these unanswered questions. I mean, and whether it's true or not, and whether other coaches do it or not, they probably do. The fact is, we are now the New York Yankees of the NFL, and everyone's going to knock us down. Trust me. 44 states were rooting against the Patriots. The 6 New England states, with the exception of maybe Connecticut, because that's just New York light, was rooting against the Patriots.
Right.
I mean, they got you got to take down the top one, and believe me, the Patriots are not well loved around the country.
No, you're right. I can't argue with any of that, and I think you're right. Sadly, I think the whole dynasty now is tarnished, and that's. I as a fan, I've wanted the Patriots to be one of the great teams of all time, and now you have to throw even the 3 Super Bowl wins, at least into not obviously they won those games, on the field and everything, but just all this talk about right. I mean, the more we hear about all this negative backlash talk, it's just
It doesn't matter anyways. I mean, it's a business, and they're pricing the regular fans out. I mean. They just jacked ticket prices up, what, 35%?
Yeah, significant amount, and certainly I think
I'm going when they're going to charge $160 for a preseason game. That's why I can't get that upset about it. I'll watch them when they're on TV. I got a sweatshirt, I got a jersey, fine. But
is it a gray hoodie?
No, I don't have the gray hoodie because that's $85. I don't think I'm going to pay that much.
That was why we lost. He didn't have his gray hoodie.
Oh, right. That's the other thing among the many things. The red hoodie, Menino scheduling a victory parade 4 days before.
I don't care about it. New York had a parade.
Oh, the book. Don't forget the book on Amazon, 19 and 0.
Yeah, and there was a New York. There was a Giants book too. Don't forget that.
Well, there still is a Giants book. It's called Howie pulled off one of the biggest upsets in Super Bowl history. By the way, is this probably one of the biggest, or would you still put the Jets over Baltimore in Super Bowl III up there? Or?
Yeah, and the Patriots over the Rams.
And the Patriots over the Rams.
That's what scared me. I knew going in they could lose that because we watched the highlights of the 01 Super Bowl. And
see, I watched that and didn't get it because I figured, well, Belichick's still on our side, so that's why I can't.
But it was. They were saying it was the dynasty versus the new upstarts, and no one gave this. It was the biggest underdog in Super Bowl history, and the Patriots went and did it. And it was a little bit of arrogance. I mean,
well, at least Wes Welker didn't turn to the camera before the game and say, "Tonight a dynasty will be born." At least he didn't say that.
No,
thankfully.
But it was questionable play calling, and they just kind of looked out of sorts. I mean, every team's going to throw up a stinker. Unfortunately, they threw it up in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And don't think that on Yorkie Way they weren't laughing their butts off at that.
Really?
Oh yes. There's a competition. Who wants to be number one? And it totally is. And it's like a sibling rivalry or something. Who wants to be number one? And believe me, the Red Sox are going to come out there with their big ring ceremony, put the big flag up there.
But the argument is that the Red Sox are always number one in this town. It's a Red Sox town first and foremost. I mean, I think. But
I still think you compete for everything, and you want to be the championship team, and you can preach all this. We're in together and City of Champions and all that. But believe me, they still want to be the only championship team in town.
Anyone who has 86 in their back pocket shouldn't laugh at anyone else's misfortunes.
I know. I mean,
By the way, as fans, I'll ask all you guys this: where did that Super Bowl loss rank as far as like maybe the '86 World Series or the 03 ALCS to the Yankees?
'86 World Series is still the worst.
Yeah, I can't watch that.
It's still the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. Because frankly, the Patriots played like crap through that whole Super Bowl, and there was never a doubt that they could lose that game. I mean, they were winning, but it wasn't this. They were on the precipice of taking that Super Bowl, and it was just.
But they had the lead with like under 3 minutes left. I mean,
no confidence.
Yeah, but we were up with 2 outs and 2 strikes with 3 different guys. They're drinking beer. The Mets are drinking beers and smoking cigarettes. And
they're taking their stuff off. They even brought all the champagne into the Red Sox
I believe the sign
room.
at Shea Stadium actually did say congratulations, Red Sox.
And it says, we've seen 3 Patriots Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's
the
key.
No one had seen a Red Sox World Series.
Well, let me ask this, and this is, again, I'll throw this into the mix. 19-0 has never happened. They had a chance to do something nobody's ever done, and I may argue we may never see anyone ever come close to it again. They had a chance for
18-1,
that.
Didn't get it done.
Right, but what I'm saying is
But
I'm adding
Does
that
that-
into the mix as far as how devastating this kind of loss is compared to like the '86 World Series.
Because you add in.
See, I didn't think the Red Sox were ever going to win anyway after that '86
I
World
know.
Series, so it didn't matter.
After me, that they're never going to win.
Yeah, well,
Right.
the fact that they hadn't won in so long, and they were one strike
Yeah.
away from it. They were up by 2 with 2 outs and 2 strikes on the batter. I mean, they were 1 strike away from doing something they hadn't done in years. We'd seen 3 Super Bowls
Yeah.
in the last
But
6
you-
years.
But we had never seen one with an undefeated season.
Doesn't matter.
on
We've
it.
seen
But-
3 Super Bowls in the last 6 years. It was like, okay, well, we lost this one.
Okay.
You know, we're 3-1 in our.
But how
in
about
our
just
lifetime.
dominating the decade? 4 Super Bowls in a decade? I mean,
Wait a minute. Hold on.
We can
Hold
still
on.
do that.
Calvin Schiraldi, by the way, he's to blame.
No,
not Buckner.
Listen to this. You take
You
that
smart-
Super Bowl,
you're smarter fans.
Take the Super Bowl and put it on one side of the scale,
Yes.
and then you weigh it against the '86 World Series. But on the same tray as the '86 World Series, you have to put 78,
Yeah.
75,
03.
67, and 46.
Well, what about
I'm only
03?
counting 03.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm only counting backwards from '86 because
Okay.
at the time you didn't have the knowledge of 03.
okay, but in '86, I didn't have a knowledge of 46 either. I mean, you know.
History.
Well,
You
just
knew the history.
67,
Yeah.
75,
67,
plus losing out to the
75,
Yankees.
78. You knew the
78,
history.
Bucky Dent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus coming in second, plus would be pre-wild card, losing out to the Yankees and the Orioles, not even making the playoffs. Being close.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah, Mike, I'm with you. I mean, this is. I think if we would have won the Super Bowl, it's like having a great dinner and then getting that nice piece of cheesecake at the end.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. Whereas prior to this,
Yeah, but an undefeated piece of cheesecake. I mean, that's something that hasn't
the
happened.
cheesecake's great.
Yeah, but we had
it-
cheesecake 3
Yeah.
dinners already.
Yeah, we've had it before.
Let me ask you a question.
Wow.
Think when the
I'm glad these guys are rationalizing it better than I am. But what?
I'll rationalize it for you even better.
Okay.
You think when the Patriots won the Super Bowl?
Don't tell me when the Whalers moved out of town, because let's not throw that as a
No, I'm not
tragedy.
going there. If
Okay,
they
thank
went
you.
19-0,
What?
you think anyone would have been visiting their relatives' graves, putting, saying, "Now I can die in peace"? It isn't the same. The Patriots will always be 1A. They will
I know.
always be 1A in this town, which is a marked improvement from when they were number 5. And they were clearly number 5 at one point.
I think at worst they would have been 4. Who would have been? Because the Revolution hadn't come into play yet. Oh, college football.
Well, yeah.
Boston College, when Flutie was in there,
Okay, when
they were
Flutie
number
was
5.
yeah, but that's a 4-year period we're talking about.
Doesn't matter.
When
At one point,
Flutie-
they were number 5.
Okay. All right.
I actually said when there was speculation of the Patriots going to St. Louis or even Connecticut, I'm just like, okay. I was down. I was just like, if they go, they go. I don't care.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Because they'd been down for they were the laughing stock.
I know.
When Kraft took them over, they had last in attendance. They had the worst stadium in the history of stadiums.
Well, here's an
They weren't
interesting.
even allowed to
benches.
have Monday Night Football game because
Yeah.
the crowds were such idiots.
Well,
Well, yeah, and that hasn't changed. I'm sorry. Boston fans, they say they're the best fans and all this. They're not.
You could actually take a couple of points in the Patriots' history. You could you could first of all say when the Patriots first opened Schaefer Stadium, that preseason game, who was the opponent? It was the Giants.
Yeah.
And they had the whole toilet flush, and they flooded out the stadium or whatever.
yeah,
And then they had the parking situation
Yeah.
that night for the first game, and they said Route 1, the traffic was tied up like it was a blizzard on the streets. It was tied up for hours.
like
and then,
that now.
And then if you look at
Worse.
and if you consider the actual nadir of the Patriots franchise, it might have occurred the final week of the 1990 season, Rod Rust concluding his one and only year with the club when they went 1-15, and that loss was at home to the Giants.
in that win.
No, they lost that. Well, no, they
You
lost
said
that
they were
final
1
game.
15. So,
Right. Well, the one win came earlier in the season.
Yeah, they beat Indianapolis actually.
Yes, right. So so they lose that last game to the Giants, and of course the Giants shipped up about 40,000 of their own fans because Giant
right.
Stadium was sold out,
That's right.
and hey, there were plenty of good seats available at Foxborough
I
Stadium.
went to a game in like I want to say, when did Kayem on the team?
Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, Kayem on the team when I went, and they played the Los Angeles Rams on December 23rd.
Yeah, I think that might have been 89. I could
With
check the media
7,000
guide.
people in the
Sure.
stadium,
Good check.
including a guy behind me who took his shirt off during the game, and it was 12 degrees out, and he only had the one arm. So, They've come a long way.
December 24th, 1989. Rams 24, Patriots 20.
24th, okay.
It's right. I'm looking at the media guide. I don't have that remembered. So,
Well, I figured you.
So,
but
thanks.
basically, they've come a long way, and now they can get away with charging $49 for standing room. Anyone who does that should have their head examined.
I think the Red Sox are charging that much, aren't they? Pretty close.
But I don't know. The Red Sox feels like a different thing. Like it's a nice day and go stand there and have a beer and watch the game. The Patriots, for some reason, you're going to stand there for 3 hours in December with the wind howling through there. It's like, guys, don't you know that they have beer other places, and they do, in fact, show the games on TV?
Well, I know some people who are willing to sit in the cold at Gillette Stadium and watch not even a football game. Do you know any people like that, Mike?
No, my wife that made me do that.
For those watching, Mike and his wife went to the rally, the pre-Super Bowl
rally
rally at the stadium.
No traffic, and no traffic getting out, and all the free hot chocolate you can drink. So
Stop at the Red Wing on the way home?
Yeah, did you stop at the Red Wing for old memories? Remember we used to...
No, I couldn't turn around. Believe
that's right. They've got that huge barrier now. You
wanted to do that, but no, seriously, that might be the only time I get inside that stadium, because I tell you, at $160 or $150 or even I think it's like 90 or $60 to sit at the top. I'm not going to go. Yeah,
but the Red Sox are starting. I mean, I was going to say, if you're going to make the comparison, the Red Sox are getting pretty high with their ticket prices
Red Sox
too.
Red ridiculous too.
And remember, if you figure the number of games, I mean, the Red Sox are making out a lot more. I mean, the Patriots only have 10 home games, and 2 of them don't even count. So
Patriots have 10 home games, but they also have a 20 times better TV revenue contract. Don't ever. I mean, baseball's making a lot of money, but the NFL, I mean, is just raking it in.
Yeah. Plus with the salary cap, the players aren't. They're not spending as much money on players either.
Yeah, I mean, but the Red Sox, they're getting expensive. I mean,
they all are. Every single one of them. I'm gonna become a Revs fan.
Yeah,
I can afford the revolution.
There you go.
I see. I have the advantage. Living up here, I have the Sea Dogs, which is the Red Sox AA affiliate, and you know what? I can park on the street for free and pay $6 and go into the game. And this year, I believe somebody on the panel named Todd was with me, and we saw Clay Buchholz.
Yep, I've got the little helmet up here right now, the Sea Dogs helmet.
He's actually wearing it, Mike.
I'm not wearing it. It's too small for my head.
But I've seen
my head is huge.
I've seen a great deal of the Red Sox starting lineup in current. I mean, Youkilis, Pedroia, Buchholz, Ellsbury,
Lester.
Yeah, at the rate these guys are moving up, I mean, a lot of them they started the year in Portland and ended the year running off the field at Coors as world champions.
And I have to say, I was even fortunate enough to see Beckett. When it was a Marlins affiliate, Beckett pitched up here. Hey,
who was the first one who called you when the Sox made that trade for Beckett? Because I knew how excited you were going to be about it.
Well, I mean, I knew the kid was lights out. It was a great deal.
Exactly. I wanted to get your reaction on that.
Yeah, and I so there are still ways to enjoy baseball, and I guess that's kind of my point. There's still ways to enjoy baseball and enjoy pro baseball, and even get a part of the Red Sox experience. There isn't another way to get into the Patriots experience, and I guess that's the difference. You can't. I mean, I like the Patriots, but you don't fall in love with them for some reason.
Bring back the USFL.
I don't know. I don't agree.
Bring back the USFL. Boston Breakers.
Hey. That may not be the worst thing in the world, is to bring a second pro league in. I mean, it would, you need a little bit of competition.
Yeah, but come on, the NFL's the most popular league. It's just, we all still watch the Super Bowl, and let's face it, it's one of the few leagues where you'd probably be willing to sit there and watch a 3-hour game between two teams that aren't even related to Boston in any way, and have an interest in watching
I'll
a game.
give that, because I won't watch a baseball game.
Right. Well, there you go.
There's more of a chance you'll do.
Example. I mean, I'd be more likely to watch a full baseball game with 2 non-Boston teams than you would, Mike. I know.
Oh, I know. So. I'm not even going to. But you know what the solution to the Red Sox is?
Yeah.
You know the best way to lower ticket prices? It will never happen. But the best way that would definitely lower ticket prices is if at that Patriot place they put up another stadium and the Kraft brought in an NL team. It may not draw as much as the Red Sox, but if you put a competitor in Massachusetts and have like a Chicago...
But the Red Sox would never allow that. I mean, it's within their...
Because it would all of a sudden cut into their...
How can they stop it?
They might not.
Well, no, I think within like a 75-mile radius, there's like some of the Red Sox...
I think the...
I think it's like that with
how do
any
the
city.
Yankees and Mets survive?
Well,
I don't know, but I know that the Nationals had to pay a fee to the Orioles.
At one time, you had the Brooklyn Dodgers, the New York Giants, and the New York Yankees all in the same city.
But that was in a different era. I mean, I think now in baseball, I think these other cities have protection.
Probably couldn't bring another American League team in.
Oh no.
No, you couldn't bring another, and I don't even know that a.
I'd love to see a National League team in.
The thing is, I'm not. I'd love to see it too, but I'm not sure that it would. I'm not sure that it would fly, only because the loyalties here are so strong.
Sure.
It would be an uphill battle.
It would if they brought in the Washington Nationals and made the ticket prices $10-15, I think they could sell out.
They could.
Yeah, I think that's what you got to do.
Because everyone who couldn't go to a Red Sox game or couldn't afford it would go because they want to see baseball.
My sister and brother-in-law, they have 4 kids, and I have season tickets to the Red Sox, and I'll give him tickets once in a while, but I have 2 tickets. So, but he can't take his kids. He tries to take them once in a year, but it's really hard for him to do it. But he would take them to. He's been at the Lowell Spinners at least once a year, every year with his kids. So
I've
that
always
type
supported
of
minor league
person,
baseball. What a great, and obviously Mike here too. I mean, we've always talked about it on the show, and it is a great take, especially when you have kids and you want to give them a baseball experience.
Yeah, and that would work, Mike.
Mike, listen, we got to run because we have another call on hold. It's been waiting very patiently.
All right, I'll talk to you later on. See you guys.
Thank you for calling, though.
Bye.
Good to hear from you. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, Mike.
Before we go to that other call, really quick, while we're talking about, we were talking earlier about Arlen Specter and stuff. Interesting thing about Arlen Specter. Do you know who his #1 contributor is as part of his campaign?
Rooney.
No, it's an organization. It's not a person. It's a. Well, I'll tell you, it's Comcast. And currently Comcast is kind of involved with the NFL about the whole NFL Network thing. I mean, the whole reason why they had that triple cast of the Pats-Giants regular season finale. I mean, and so the whole Specter thing, he's making a spectacle of himself. But at the same time, I think there's more going on here than just, Joe Sports fan, and that. I think that also he's, he could be getting. I mean, it's hard to take him seriously because of the whole fact that Comcast has spent, supported a lot of his campaign. I mean, his financially speaking. So, but we're going to go back to the phones here. It's a 617. We have Bob, and he's been waiting patiently, and we appreciate your patience, Bob. Welcome to Time Out for Sports Talk.
Oh, my good gracious! Who's this guy, Mike?
Mike is a former panelist and a dear friend of the show. Actually, Bob, can I ask you a question?
I don't know if I got an answer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Your grandson plays on the Belmont hockey team.
Let's not go there. Let's talk about something.
Okay. I only looked at the standings, and I actually couldn't believe it because like 3 years ago, this team was playing in the Super 8. I mean, can you I don't know what's happened to that. I mean, you lose a couple of kids for graduation.
A couple.
Well, I mean, eventually everybody leaves, but don't you have other talent coming up from behind?
We lost 13 to 14 kids.
Okay.
And they were very young.
I mean, believe me. I mean, I just found it shocking when I looked at the standings. I mean, they're like,
I didn't think I felt. I was there every game.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay. All right, we'll move on. Let's cheer you up. Want to talk about the Super Bowl?
No, I want to talk about this clown Mike. Where's he come from, Maine?
Okay. Yes, he used to live here in the area. In fact, his parents still live in Belmont, and they are big fans of the show. And in fact, Mike also co-produces another show that's on this channel called Through the Lens, a movie review show. So,
okay.
And Mike used to be a panelist here on Time Out with Howie and myself. So he's a good friend of ours, and we like talking to him. We do apologize that you were on hold as long as you were, but that's why Mike is up in Maine now. He moved up there. He and his wife are up there, and I think her family lives up in Maine. So.
You mean he was a
Belmontian, though. He grew up in Belmont, went to Belmont High School.
He was a commandeer to Bob Daly?
Well, he and Bob weren't in the same graduating class, I don't. Off by a couple generations there, I believe.
Howie.
Yes, dear.
I am so disappointed in you.
Why is that?
He ripped your Celtics from one side to the other, saying they're toast, they're dead, and you sucked it all up.
I don't even listen to what he says.
Okay.
He's Mr. Negative. Everybody's bad in his eyes. Listen, if it isn't the Red Sox are falling apart, the Patriots are falling apart, the Celtics are falling apart, it's just Okay.
And what, they sent them to Maine for rehab?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, I'm not going to bore you with baloney tonight.
Okay.
I got a prediction for you.
All right.
You ready?
Absolutely.
Get your pen and write it
I'm
down.
ready.
Got it.
All right. What do we got?
Dustin Pedroia is going to be the MVP in the American League this year.
So from Rookie of the Year to MVP.
Yep.
Wow.
And
Oh.
Todd, I didn't want to blow your mind, but you know that pizza and beer?
What pizza and beer?
Well, we had a wager.
We had a wager.
Last year.
Last year?
Pedroia's batting average.
Oh, right. The
Yeah,
one
we-
where Howie and I won because
Yeah, we never collected.
Yeah, we didn't collect. So what's the? I mean, you got off scot-free. What do you?
Hey, no, you didn't collect. But I took Howie and Kathy and Chrissy to Santapios.
Oh, you
You
no.
did? I must have missed that.
Howie doesn't even remember that. I'm telling you, that's not a good sign if Howie can't even remember.
Well, I took Howie for a six-pack before that. He doesn't remember where we were.
Aha. Okay. Well, enough said.
Take more than that.
Yes, I know that firsthand too.
But getting back to Belmont High School hockey, we shall return.
Okay. No, I hope so. I mean, I found it kind of shocking and sad all at the same time. I
They
mean,
only had 4 seniors on the team.
so most of the team's going to be back next year.
Yes.
Well, hopefully
9
the year of experience will.
9 juniors, 7 freshmen, and the kids, you know, they get their butts handed to them.
Mhm.
But we'll be back.
Okay.
How's Muzzy holding out?
We haven't heard from him for a week, and I haven't checked the Tobin Bridge. I don't know what's going on.
Well, all the Patriots
Well,
fans have
Muzzy
cleared
was
out of
so
there.
good.
So
Yeah.
what?
The what?
Muzzy hung his head up there real good.
Yeah, well, you got to take the good with the bad, and I mean, he's had a lot of good seasons, so.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's had a lot of
Yeah.
he's had a lot of good and bad seasons with all the years he's been coaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's although this probably ranks as certainly one
You know,
of the
but it's
one of the
it's
worst.
having a season like this that makes the good ones that much better.
But he knew going in it was going to be a long year.
Yeah.
But he was very gracious, you know, kept us cool,
Good.
you know. He
Glad
didn't
to
get
hear that.
undressed one game.
Well, that's good.
He usually takes his top coat off, his suit, his jacket, his tie.
Yeah.
You know, he almost goes naked.
Well, what about the sweater vests? I remember back in the day when I was broadcasting some of those games. Yeah, actually, Mike and I used to broadcast the games together, so there's another connection with
Mike who?
Mike. Mike, who was on the phone earlier.
Oh, you had to bring him up, huh? He's
Yeah, I'm
not
s-
involved in Belmont hockey, is he?
Hey, when Mike and I were calling the games, the ratings were through the roof. I mean, just
That's before my time.
wasn't that long ago, Bob. Feels like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't. Anything else on your mind tonight, Bob? Or
My mind is very short tonight.
okay, any particular reason you?
I'm very depressed.
Is it the Belmont hockey, or is it the Patriots, or
It's just
or the fact that it's cold and it's late February and it should start feeling a little bit more like spring?
It's just Belmont in general. I miss Bob Daly to death when he's not on here.
Okay, well that's why we had Bob. Bob was gracious enough to join us for our very special Super Bowl preview anniversary program. We wanted to get someone special for that show, and we were happy that Bob was available.
Yeah.
His schedule just doesn't allow him to be with us as much as we'd like. I mean, like I say, we're not intentionally sliding him. That's for sure.
Now let me ask you something. Have you seen him walking around Waverly Square?
I have not. No, why?
He has a mascot. He takes around on a leash. His name is Freddie,
Okay.
and
What is Freddie?
it's a dog.
Well, I know, but what kind of dog? I knew it was a dog.
It's a schnauzer.
A schnauzer. Okay. All right.
And he always brings him up to me, and he said, "Freddie, here's a tree right here. Go ahead."
And yet you call Bob Daly your friend.
He's a good friend. He's a
Yeah,
sweetheart.
Bob's okay. It's Freddie that he doesn't like.
Hey, well, I can understand that. Hey, by the way, a beagle wins the Best in Show at the Westminster Dog Club. It was first time ever, I think.
Yep.
It was.
First time.
I thought immediately of Snoopy. So I think all beagles everywhere. I think it was a great day. So I believe actually the Victorious Beagle was wearing his little Red Baron helmet and his goggles as he
Yeah.
was flying on a Sopwith camel. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, listen, don't forget,
Jokes.
Dustin Pedroia, MVP.
Yes, Dustin Pedroia,
Yeah, it's
MVP.
time.
Okay, any other predictions you want to make about the Red Sox?
No, but I wish people would get off the Patriots.
Well, we are going to, we're going to talk more about the Red Sox going into spring training, certainly. So.
Good. You should. They're the best team put together.
Yeah. Well, they're the defending champs. They didn't make many changes. Hard to argue with you, Bob.
Nope.
There's a first.
They're going to be lights out against the chair.
I think you're right. I would agree. All right. On that note, we will let you go and have a good night.
Where's my friend Pam?
Where is your friend Pam? Pam is actually on vacation. It is a school vacation week, and she and her family are off skiing somewhere.
They didn't send me a postcard.
Okay.
Well, the week's not over yet.
Yeah, the
You
week's
might
not
still
over
get
yet.
it,
It might be in the mail, so check your mailbox, Bob.
All right, guys, take care.
See ya.
good night.
Bye. Well, let's move along here. We were, I guess, talking a little bit about. I was going to kind of wrap up the whole Belichick thing. Do we think Matt Walsh, this former video assistant or whatever, do we think he's going to have anything incriminating here, or is this just a lot of talk? He's asking for immunity. I mean, he's making a big deal about all this stuff.
Who cares?
Okay, fair enough.
That's my opinion.
Quick thing, I think if you really had something damning, and can I say that? And
Damn. Well, you just did. So.
Yeah, and Belichick was involved with it. He could just bring it up and say, "Look, this is what it is."
They've already turned the tables on him. They
Yeah.
made the statement: "I never authorized, never saw, and never had anyone under my authorization film anybody else."
Yeah.
Are we surprised that
And
Belichick came
So,
out this
so
week
now if
after
the kid comes up with it, they'll say,
Yeah.
"I didn't tell him to do that.
Right.
He did that on his own."
Yeah, and why didn't he just do it? You know, like why didn't he just go to the authorities? You know, get his attorneys and go to the authorities and say, "This is what I have."
Right, especially
You know,
right after it
it's
happened. Why
yeah.
did he wait for the whole season to go by?
And why did he wait till Super
Yeah,
Bowl
it's
weekend
too
to
much.
bring it up? Yeah.
It's too much. He'll be backing out of it in 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Arlen Specter would like to
Not a big deal.
see these missing tape. Well, he wants to get his hands on some kind of
Yeah,
tape.
yeah, he doesn't
Because
even know.
Roger Goodell doesn't have any tapes, and Specter wants to get his hands on
That's
some.
true.
I think Alan's trying to find some old 8mm tapes.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Well, speaking of the follies down in Washington, let's continue on. Sports in D.C. I
Yes.
mean, does it get any better? Hey, we've got hearings. We've got the Three Stooges right here: Rusty Hart and Roger Clemens, and whoever that third guy is. It's Clemens' other attorney whose name escapes me. I don't know. And
Billy Bob Thornton.
I know, it looks like...
I'm telling you, it's the Three Stooges. I mean, come on. This was a whole. I
Yeah.
mean, they wasted. You know,
It's a
how
dog
much
and
tax
pony show.
Yeah, there was
They-
5 hours of conversation, and also not in that picture was Brian McNamee, just a few feet to the side of Clemens. The two of them never looked at each
Yep.
other during the whole time.
I thought going into this thing that they were going to do it and then you know do the whatever it was 4, 5, 6 hours of deliberations, and then at the end, you know, guilty, or you know, we're going to be pressing charges. There's the orange jumpsuit. You know, people being carted off. I thought that's what it was. I don't think anything's going to come in this whole thing. I think it's just going to. It was one day up on a stage, and now it's gone. And whatever it is whatever it is.
Okay,
I don't get it.
I have a question. Let's say Howie and I are sitting and we're looking at you know, Congress here. Well, we're looking at us, but we're looking at Congress and they're asking us questions. And you know, maybe say I'm Clemens and you're Brian McNamee, and you're telling all these things, and you're slamming my reputation and tarnishing my legacy. And hey, I'm the Rocket. That's important stuff to me. Not once did he look or get angry or do anything in reaction to McNamee. I mean, if I was on national television and someone just a few feet to my right was slinging my name through the mud, I'd be pissed about it. Can I say that on the? I guess I just did. So there you go. But I wouldn't be. I mean, he didn't even react. I mean, what does that tell you?
Oh yeah, you know, again, the bottom line to me comes down to why did Andy Pettit tell the truth about these other guys and lie about Clemens?
Boy, is he coming off looking pretty classy through this whole thing?
I mean, and he had the best excuse in the world. He's my friend, but I have to answer to God on this.
Yeah.
I don't have to answer to him. I don't have to answer to anyone else.
and he's a very spiritual guy. I mean, he's
but,
got that.
You know,
that's been talked about.
McNamee implicated him. He implicated other people. They've all admitted to it that, yeah, we did do it. Yeah, he did do it. Why is this the one guy that didn't? And there isn't one of these guys up to this point, I don't think, that has guaranteed they didn't do it.
Even his wife's done it.
Everyone's
his
guilty.
wife did
Yeah.
it, but he didn't do it.
Right.
His wife did it, and he didn't know.
Yeah, he
she
didn't
did
know.
it.
He didn't know that his
Brian
trainer
McNamee,
was sticking a needle in his wife's butt.
If your
I mean,
wife was
come on.
Right,
If
right.
your wife was
You
being
know?
injected
Right.
with something, you know about it.
You have
Come
a
on.
lunch, a little dinner, little salmon, a little asparagus. Oh, honey, by the way, you know Brian McNamee, you know, gave me HGH tonight up in our room,
Yeah.
you know, in my butt.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
All right, Pass the peas? Is that how that went? Seriously, when I saw this whole thing and I found out she was involved, and he was upset because he doesn't trust McNamee. I'm like, doesn't trust him. I said, this is a reality. And then misremember. I go, this is
there's a great new word for the
show.
vocabulary.
I go, just film the Clemens every day for 2 months. This is a reality show. They speak their own language. When you just spoke about Andy Pettit, ritual, a spiritual God, and I could picture Clemens saying, yeah, I guess God is slightly, more important than I am.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only person he'll acquiesce to.
Well, I'm not so sure.
Yeah,
He might say,
I said slightly.
okay,
hey,
right.
he created everybody.
Well, God might still be playing second
Right.
banana to the rocket for all we know.
But it's you, it's my wife, it's probably my kids, it's my agents didn't tell me about
took it.
about the Mitchell report. They told Pettit.
Yeah,
that they were in it, but they didn't tell me. They didn't tell me.
Every one of these guys,
Yeah.
would you like to come in and defend yourself? No, not me.
No,
I didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know about that. He was misquoted here.
Misremembered everybody.
But like I said, and then he stands there and says, Pettit is an outstanding, honest person, but he was wrong about me.
And he said, they actually said, well, Andy Pettit took it. And Clemens turned around, only in his mind did this work, that he actually said something like, and I'm paraphrasing, well, I didn't talk to him about it. And if we didn't talk about it, then he didn't take it. Like, he actually said that phraseology because he was trying to believe, like, in his mind, that, like, Pettit would have come to me because I'm his buddy. But he realized, I think, that he was halfway through halfway through his little answer to the question, and then he realized, oh my God, like, I'm just incriminating myself. And he actually did the phrase that, like, he didn't believe that Pettit did it because Pettit didn't come to him, when the senators just said he did do it. And what do you think of that? And his answer was, I don't believe he did it because he didn't come to me. Yeah. It's like, but no one followed up on it. Like, the senators could have been like, dude, we just said he did it. He said he did it. And you're saying he didn't do it. You didn't think he did it because he didn't talk to you. What does that say about you?
Yeah, some of these congressmen did not come off looking very well in this interrogation at all. I mean, that guy Burden, he looked really silly at times. I mean,
is that the guy from Indiana?
Yeah, I think so. He was the one who kept calling McNamee a drug dealer too. When of course it was Clemens who actually had gotten the HGH and would have brought it to McNamee to have him injected into him. I mean, it wasn't like McNamee was getting the stuff and bringing it to Roger. I mean, that's
But the bottom. This is the bottom line. Supposedly the kid has syringes, gauze, and stuff saved from what he used on Clemens. Now, if the tell-all, end-all to prove or disprove a crime is DNA, very simple. Here's what I have. You submit yours, and if they don't match, I'm a liar. Yeah. If they match, you're a liar. So why not just, if Roger was that cocksure that he didn't do it, he should say, fine, take a blood sample, take some DNA, swab my mouth, and check it against those needles and syringes. But I haven't heard that from anybody.
Yeah.
No, and Clemens.
I haven't heard anyone ask him to do it, and I haven't heard him offer to do it.
How telling is it that McNamee would have saved all this stuff all these years? Could he see into the future and know that something like this was going to happen?
Monica and the dress. People do weird things.
He also saved.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, she saved the dress. He saved the syringes. Why? Again, why?
Mementos.
Why? Because he probably wanted to have something to back him up if anything ever came of this. Because he figured, being the short guy, the little guy in the totem pole, he'd end up getting screwed, and everyone would walk away scot-free. This is his only thing to guarantee. Mm-hmm. And if he says he's got it, then to me it's real simple to prove or disprove this whole thing. Submit it. We'll check it. Right. We'll find out who's lying here.
Right. And DNA is DNA.
Exactly. Not, I mean, DNA is 98%. Yeah.
And he kept knob blocks too, because he didn't trust knob block. He's like, out of all the people that he injected or whatever they did with HGH, he only kept 2 of them.
Yeah.
And Knobloch's a kind of a shady character.
He admitted to it.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't trust him. I didn't trust Clemens.
Yeah, if I was sitting in the first base stands at Yankee Stadium back in the late '90s, I don't think I would have trusted Knobloch either.
In the first base line.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the true irony here is that Roger Clemens wanted to go up and testify against Congress because he wanted to clear his name. He wanted to clear his reputation. I mean, we were talking earlier about the Patriots' reputation being forever tainted. I think you can say the same now about Roger Clemens. I mean, he's going to forever carry this stigma with him. And the thing was, he went into these hearings. This is exactly the opposite of what he wanted to do. He wanted to clear his reputation, and he ends up coming off looking even worse in the whole process.
And like we've said, and I know we've talked about this, at the time he did it, HGH and steroids are not a banned substance in baseball. And everyone who has admitted to doing it and saying, I was stupid, I was wrong, I made a mistake, and I really am sorry, I shouldn't have done it, has walked away holding their head high, and everyone's saying, hey, at least he told the truth. Yeah. All these guys that lie about it and get caught later are even worse off. If Clemens just said, you know what, I did. You know, I was hurting, I had injuries, I was trying something, it was wrong to do, and I'm really sorry I did, and I know I owe the team an apology, I owe my family an apology, I owe my children an apology, the whole bit right down the line. He can apologize to everybody in Texas. You know what? And everyone would have said, you know what, he's an all right guy. But because he's being so arrogant that he didn't do it without offering any proof, that's why everyone's trying to nail him. So again, submit it, and let's test it.
Yeah.
You know, why doesn't he say, I know those aren't mine, they can't be mine, there's no way they can be mine, and I'll give you the DNA to test against it.
I'm so sure.
Yeah.
Well, he did offer to strap himself up to the polygraph.
Big deal.
But
polygraph, anyone can beat that.
Yeah, he believes... Yeah. He still believes.
But see, in his own mind, he could probably beat it because in his mind, he probably doesn't think he did it.
Yeah, he threw the ball at Piazza. Remember that wooden thing that was charted?
Yeah,
that was a ball.
He's living in denial, which is more than just a river in Egypt, right?
Does Dan Duquette get vindicated in any of this at all?
For calling the twilight of his career?
The twilight of his career.
Well, the best part was during the hearing when he said, and someone who made and I won't mention his name because he's gotten way too much publicity over the years over this, he who shall be named nameless said that I was in the twilight of my career.
I missed that.
Yeah, he wouldn't say his name. He goes, I won't say his name.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't say his name.
Yeah.
I mean, surprised he didn't say someone whose name rhymes with like Stan Bouquet or something.
No, grow up.
Right.
You know, or if he could have at least said the former general manager of the Red Sox that I played for, but he couldn't say it. It was like it was a bad word. Dan Duquette.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Because he was right? Is that why he can't say his
misremembering?
name?
There's another bad word.
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna Google misremembering and see what comes up.
Probably
Roger Clemens.
That's helping me.
I mean, it's the vocabulary according to Roger.
Yeah,
we got a reality show. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that word must be in Wikipedia.
Yeah. I'm sure it is by now. No question about it. Well, we've got a few minutes left. Why don't we, really quick, why don't we throw this out since we're running out of time. Our friend Dave Monahan's not here, but we'll throw up a little tribute for him. We'll even throw the picture up behind me, kind of give you a feel of the experience. There it is, the Daytona Raceway, the Super Bowl of NASCAR, and it was a new man who was the winner this year, literally. Ryan Newman, I guess.
And Dave, I have to tell you, I'm sorry. Not you, Dave, the other Dave. I couldn't root for your boy, Tony Stewart, because a Japanese car cannot win the Great American Race, and he drives a Toyota. Sorry.
But he was leading on the last lap.
Had to root against him. A Japanese car cannot win the Great American Race.
You know, and then you had Eli Manning pushing Newman's car from behind. Oh, something like that. I don't know. It was that last-minute finish, you know. It's just...
Let it go.
I'm having a hard time letting this go.
We can get therapy for you.
I'm never going to see a 19-0 team, and I wanted it to. The Patriots would have truly been. The other thing is Mercury Morris will never shut up now. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
That's the only reason I wanted him to do
it. And that would have been brilliant. It would have been great. But now he's going to keep yakking.
18-1 didn't get it done.
I know they didn't get it done. No, I mean, I understand that.
They could have lost 4 games all season. They won the Super Bowl. It would.
I mean, they're the worst 18-1 team in the history of the NFL. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, it's hard to take any satisfaction out of the season. All the good things that did happen.
I did my show prep for this work was about 30 seconds on ESPN. No, about 5 minutes on ESPN.
You do show prep?
Oh yeah, at work. I was at work.
Oh, okay.
Little show prep.
Oh, I'm sure your boss is.
The Patriots' regular season schedule next year is very easy.
Yeah, but they got to make 4 trips to the West Coast.
Okay, so you got to go 3,000 miles to beat Oakland.
They could go 10-6 and still win the Super Bowl. I know a team that had just done that.
I
No.
know. I know. I
Is
appreciate
this working? 16-0 next year. I'm going against Bob's. I think I'm closer with my prediction than Bob is with his Pedroia MVP prediction.
Yeah.
Pat's 16-0.
Could happen.
The only game they can lose is the Colts.
There's our next show. We will be back on March 19th, right in the midst of March Madness and spring training. Actually, the Red Sox are going to be getting ready at that point for their trip to Japan to open up the 2008 baseball season. We'll get into a lot more Red Sox and spring training talk at that time. We'll give you more predictions, too. We'll tell you if Howie and I, anyway, if we agree with Bob or who's going to win the MVP or whatever. But, Dave, it was good having you on again.
Thank you for having me. And people from Belmont, if you're not sure who to vote for, hit your wagon to Todd and Howie.
Okay. Oh, are we
Because
the
that
new,
will-
we're the new presidential ticket or
Yeah,
something
who
like
knows?
that? Or?
I mean, who?
Better than the other
Wow.
choices.
Yeah, I mean, what do we
There you
have? I'll vote for you guys.
Thanks.
There you go.
I appreciate that. That's
I told my
Well, there
wife I was
you
going
go.
to write myself in for a write-in candidate.
all right. Well, co-commander-in-chief, here we go. So
There we go.
thank you. All right. We will see you. We'll see you next month. Until then, good night.
Darn, that's the end.